Welcome to another exciting edition of The Opinion, the only show that dives into topics that affect your daily lives. My name is Tina Mulika. I am not doing this alone. I am here with my amazing ladies, Zita, Samoki, and Zainab.
Hello.
Today, will you say something maybe before we continue?
Hello, viewers.
It's good to be back on your screen.
The set actually looks colorful, but the topic is a little bit emotional.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, today we are diving into two critical topics that I know by the time you are done, you will learn one or two from it. The first one is how childhood trauma affects our daily lives as adults, or how it shapes our lives as adults. And then we move straight to whether or not a woman should invest in a man. Will you do that? That is why we are here. We'll take you through all you need to know. Before we start, I want to start from you first. I don't know why, because I mentioned your name. How do you even one identify trauma? Because trauma itself, as childhood trauma itself, it's where one actually, the life situations that one goes through and experiences that affect them when they grow up. It gives them negative impact psychologically, emotionally, and physically. But as adults, how do we even know that we went through such process? Because identification, I think, is key, right?
Okay.
So how do we even know?
So speaking from, let me say, a personal opinion, not expert opinion. I think God created our body to know when something is not right for us. So once you are in a situation that you don't even identify or you don't even know what trauma is, once you are in a situation that makes you, or conversations that make you uncomfortable, there's usually a deep-rooted reason why that will make you uncomfortable. If it's making your body sick, your mind sick, or whatever it is, you have to look beyond that first conversation to what is it about that conversation that is making you uncomfortable. There are some people, they don't like being surprised or startled, like they struggle not because they have a problem with you trying to surprise them, but there's an underlying problem why. So for me, I think you just have to listen to your body, your mind, and your soul, and anything that makes you uncomfortable, there's a very high chance that thing is coming. There's an underlying trauma that comes with it. That's what I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lady Z, there are different types of trauma, as we all know. Childhood traumas, it can be sexual, neglect, bullying back in school and all that. Do you think in the society, growing up, people are actually prompted that certain things, especially those who have been through certain things, can affect your life when you grow up? Do we have, measures like that where people, as you are growing, self-awareness, as you're growing as a child, where people actually prompt you, like your mother, your father, that, okay, based on what I am doing, it may affect my child? Do we have something like that going on in the society?
I'm not sure about the society. I think it's an individual thing, maybe more of a parental responsibility. I'm not sure about the nation having that kind of structure that helps or guides people with childhood traumas. And I'm not sure. I'm here to be corrected, but I'm not sure about that.
And which ones are very common to you? The trauma, the childhood trauma that you've maybe experienced or people have shared stories with you, which ones are very common?
There's even trauma in lack of sleep. It's true. It's not funny. Lack of sleep is traumatic. I mean, like to people. There's the physical aspect of trauma to people. There's the emotional aspect of trauma. So it varies, So, but the thing is, I think that we're ignorant about it, So because we are ignorant, we don't pay attention to it, for us to even identify that this is a problem, or if somebody's going through it, this is a problem or a challenge and they need help. So I think that's where the problem, because even as a parent, you might ignore the facts if you are not really attentive to your child or your ward. So I think so. That's the issue itself. Yeah.
Yes, as Lady Z mentioned, we don't have people. There
are even trust issues.
Trust issues.
Trust issues can be traumatic. I mean, so people have a lot of issues with trust. Trusting people because they once upon a time trusted somebody so much and they disappoint. I mean, oftentimes the people you least expect that they will disappoint or hurt you, they are the ones that actually end up doing. There's a story about children trusting uncles and when you hear a child being molested, oftentimes
It's
don't
someone
look far.
close, yeah.
There's the people
It's
around.
the
Yeah.
closest people, and
Yeah.
they are the people that they trusted the most. So this child, if they are not counseled properly, is going to go through life not trusting anybody around them, and they take it into their relationships, job places, and it affects them, you know. So it's something that we ignore, we trivialize it, but it's an issue. Yeah, we trivialize it, but it's an issue.
Samoki does law, and I want to bring it in here. I know recently you were dealing with a case of defilement in your society, in your area. How is the case so far? I want us to use that example, especially with regards to, you know, when people trivialize it and make it look like it's nothing. If you don't get the right people to support, you grow up and then it affects the child forever. Maybe you can share that, and then
Okay, so
how you are solving that.
the guy is under remand right now. And I remember one time we took the small girl who was defiled to the police station. They needed them to write a statement and one of the ladies said, we need to take the girl to a psychologist. Because even though she's 7 years running around, she as an expert with that experience knows the child is not okay. So we need to find a psychologist for the child. So that's what we are working on. But for now, we try to bring the child closer, speak to the child all the time, make sure she feels safe around us, so that if anybody attempts something on her, she will be free to open up to us. In fact, what we realized was it was my sisters who saw the defilement, but they were not sure. So they went down to check. Unfortunately, it had happened already. But it was something recurring. It's been happening for some time. And when they called the girl and they asked her, she was afraid to speak. Later, she opened up to them, and then, long story. But my concern now with the trauma is that the child is walking around not knowing it will affect her in future. She doesn't know, she's just a child. When she's 13, 14, she's still trusting people, walking around, talking
Doing
to
the
everyone.
same thing.
But maybe when she starts dating or guys come her way, then it will come back to her as flashbacks. That someone did something like this. Okay, so this is what it actually means. So men are wicked. So this and that. And that is where the trauma comes in. So sometimes what you experience as a child, you don't even understand what you've gone through. It's like you witnessing your mom and your dad fight every day. You don't even know that that's not what is happening in other people's homes. But you might grow up and either be a very loving wife or husband, or also be an abusive wife or
Because
husband.
that is what I grew up seeing.
Because that is what you grew up seeing.
Talking about the girl who walks around freely, I've had a similar experience, but I was 18. And 0 to 18, I was still a child, basically. I was in the university, and somebody tried to rape me at that time. And even though they got me a psychologist and everything, it wasn't easy. Even 2 years after the incident, when I'm with a man, even somebody that I'm dating, and you try to touch me or come close to me, I just panic like that. And I'm like, gosh, it took like forever until I opened up to one of the partners that I really trusted. I said, why? It's like, I'm too rigid when it comes to certain things. And I'm like, yeah, because where I'm coming from or what I've experienced a few years ago, it wasn't easy. So it's like
physical abuse,
not physical, it was very violent. Somebody trying to rape you, the violence that comes with it, and you get flashes and all that. It's been like almost 10 or more than 10 years now, and still once in a while you feel like, oh. And sometimes when you see people that have been abused in that aspect, to be honest, you go like, so this person is going to go through the same process, knowing that it's not easy. So if you are watching, and trust me, you're going through all this, I think it's about you trying to decide where to belong, whether you let it go or whether, but some people
so the point is you need help.
Exactly.
And that's the key, the underlying factor, is that you need help. As I mentioned,
because if you are still not comfortable with the opposite sex, or they are being around you, triggers
the
you.
moment the issue happens, I think the issue with Ghana is that we are not used to getting therapy.
We don't,
and all that. We feel like, oh, hey, it's okay, we'll deal with it. You can't deal with it. But you grow up and realize that it's like an arm, and trauma is not only sexual, as you earlier mentioned.
Bullying is traumatic as well. Bullying is part of it.
And it will kill you.
There's emotional abuse.
Exactly.
They're all there.
Your teacher could be beating you all the time. And so you grow up and be afraid of something. You could even, I know some people who've been attacked by armed robbers before when they were
Because
very
of
young,
that.
and now when they hear a little something, they are
get
panicking.
frightened, yeah.
Myself, I was in a vehicle and my bag was, taken from me. You know this Achimota notorious
Oh,
spot.
they will
And
snatch
for
it.
a very long time, driving through the place, I'm always afraid. And so there are little things or different things that cause trauma, different types of trauma to people. So I think that the key thing will be to get help immediately.
You see,
you don't even wait to grow up before you realize that, okay, this thing is now affecting me this way. If your child has gone through bullying, you need to get help immediately to deal with that. If it's sexual, you get immediate help. If it's armed robber coming around, whatever it is. But the question, I'll also throw a question to all of us will be, what if the parents are those who are causing the trauma to the child?
And before we even answer that question,
So that would
we're
be
talking
parental
about
substance abuse.
substance abuse.
Yeah.
What if the parent is not even aware that it's happening? You see, most people, especially Ghanaians, I don't know about other people. I know Ghanaians are timid to talk about certain things that even some parents are not even friends with their kids.
Yeah, we are collaborating.
So something happens, they go to school, they get bullied, they come back, nobody talks about it. Some people don't even check on their kids to find out.
I heard, sorry to cut you, but even the defilement case I'm talking about, those were some of the comments we heard. Meanwhile, the guy told her that if you tell anybody, the police will come and arrest you. That's what the guy told.
I think Zainab.
Oh, no, I am born.
Zina.
Okay.
Zita, yeah.
So I just wanted to say two things. When you're talking about it being anything, I just remember that when we moved into our house, we had a fire at midnight and the house nearly got burned. We had a den. And I'm just realizing that since then I've not been able to sleep at all. Like the least then, even a phone call, I panic and I'm panicking and breathing and all that. So I'm just imagining if I was to go and even have this conversation with someone, would they think it's so trivial? That is one.
They will
And
trivialize
what
it.
if it's a child? Do you think the child can open up to you?
Yeah, and my son was there as well. So secondly, talking about whether you can even trust a parent, how will you be able to tell your mom, for example, who is very Christian, that her pastor is attempting to defile you or sleep with you or whatever? How are you going to? Yeah, because you are going to be called names like all the because they
Like
think
we are Kolabone.
yes,
Kolabone.
yes.
It's the first thing.
Yes, that's the
And
first
also
attack.
Kasadojo.
That's the first attack. She will not believe you. Most up until now they will, but back then a lot of parents will not believe you. They'll put the blame on you. It's easier for them to defend the faith than to defend you.
So you see, all these things being common and
And-
people noticing. So the first thing is, I believe, where do people even go when something happens? I think that's something that
They
We don't-
treat
where?
it as normal
Where do you go?
lifestyle. So I remember
So
right now,
sorry.
something should happen like that as a child.
So in discussing
What
that,
do you
let
do?
us also note that being neglected is also a form of abuse.
Yes.
If you are neglected, it's an abuse, or it's you because if you feel neglected, you feel like unloved and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's very traumatic, and so it's how, I think that's one. It starts from how we were brought up.
Just a quick
Like-
one, even the neglect. I think people like that, when they grow up, they sometimes tend to be very clingy.
Clean,
Even
yes,
in relationships, they can't.
And there are
let
those
their
type of
partner-
people that are like buying people to love them.
Yes.
They are sucking up so that people, because they grew up feeling unloved,
Exactly.
feeling so neglected that when people come around them, they will do anything to keep them, even when they are not good for them,
Yeah.
they still want to cling to them because they are afraid to be alone
Yeah.
because they've experienced it before. So sometimes going through our daily lives, we meet people like that all the time. But when you don't know somebody's genesis, you are not, sometimes we are quick to say, oh, she's this, she's that, but trust me, there's a story behind how she is.
there is.
And yes, it's not all of us who were brought up in a way that we could be that articulate and vocal to say everything to our parents. I mean, when we were growing up, I'm an also just daughter. Certain things are
They
unsaid
never die.
in our home. Like the discipline you are given, you need to know that certain things are your no-go area. As in, and try, and there were also certain things that you dared not even say. Who is listening? I remember years ago, my daughter asking my mother because she saw in the daily papers the organ of the female genital organ, and She was so curious.
How was she then?
She was 7.
7.
She went to her grandmother because I was not in town. She was with her grandmother. She was going. I said, Grandma, what is she? She was asking about the labia, which is part of the female genital organ. My mom said, "Hey, I am paying some, and she actually called me from where I was and said, "Hey, like she was going on and I was on the phone listening to my mom. And then when she finished, I was like, Ma, what's that? You know, and there and then, for me, if I had not spoken to her and made her feel that, you know what, whatever you ask Grandma, you are in the right. Don't mind Grandma. Grandma is old school. I said it in a way that we laughed about it. But I had already, you know, fought with my mom. That's, do you understand? So if I had not spoken to her the way I did to make her feel that, you know what, Princess, it's okay to ask questions and, you know, it's okay. Don't mind Grandma. Oh, Grandma knows it too, but she didn't want to tell you. Don't worry, I will show you. You have it. What you're asking, because you're a woman or you were a girl at that time. So, but the way my mom reprimanded her, you know, it could have just made her, you know, go off, and that would have, you know, shut her off completely. And this is a child that even at that time we didn't know that she wanted to do medicine. So imagine, this could have just killed her whole, you know, you know, exactly. So it is how we bring up these children, you know, and how involved we are in their lives. Trust me, you never know your child because most of the time they are not with you. The times you spend with them are the times they are home with you. They spend most of their time in school. So if you don't form a bond with them, my dear, you say, oh, I know my child. You go to the school and the teacher is telling you something different about your child. And you are asking yourself, is this my son they are talking about? Auntie, it's your son. They see more than you do. Yeah. But if you guide them properly at home, I mean, sometimes when you get to the school and they are saying certain things, you are not surprised because you know who your child is. Right, you see, at the beginning, when you asked me the question, I asked you that as a country, I'm not sure we have that kind of, you know, remedies where people get. So it boils back to the family. It boils back to the parents. So if the parents are neglecting their children, then they are found wanting as to where to go and seek for help. So then, you know, they don't talk. So they shield it all in because they're not saying it because mommy and daddy are not even available for them to open up to. You understand? So that in itself is a problem. So if they are not able to come to you and there's no auntie or uncle they can, you know, have that kind of relationship with, then they are going to fall on their friends who maybe are also being, you know, they are already traumatized as well.
Okay, so then I'll come in.
Do you understand?
By saying so that we can have, I think our training system should change a little bit so that the school, for example, can have a support system. Yeah. I know the universities have counselors.
The university do.
That is true.
But from the tertiary, from the primary, there's nothing like that.
Every school should have. And the person should not be conservative. The person should not be primitive. You see, sometimes they are there, but they are conservative, judgmental, very judgmental.
Yeah. So they need to be very open-minded.
Open-minded, yes. So that you can tell them
very assertive
everything.
And assertive.
And
is important.
People who will not doubt your child, people who will go through. Because I'm saying that what you said is perfect. Family is supposed to be the ideal unit. But in a situation where family is usually not ideal, because there are steps involved, there are guardians involved, and the moment you don't live with your real mom, your real dad, it becomes a problem for you to speak out. When there's
even the real moms and real dads, they are not even talking.
And that's what you are even saying.
What if you are being abused by the real dad or real mom?
Exactly. So yeah. I think the school can come in, even the churches and religious bodies can also, because Sunday school, for example, if you have somebody around that the kids are cool with, they can come and say, oh, auntie, this did this to me, or uncle, this did that to me. It's fine. Even they can even go, if they can't tell you, the parents, about how they are being maltreated in school, they could now go to their religious bodies and talk about that. So I think every space
talking to another child may worsen the case.
Exactly.
So every space
that is a no-go area.
To be very frank with you, I'm a bit worried about it being even having these kind of arrangements in the church. Because the church, every religion, I don't want to say church, but I mean religious, the religion already comes with some kind of bias as to how you should handle these stuff. So I would prefer the person to just be neutral. Even if the person is religious, it shouldn't be within their religious circle, because even that space it happens.
But if they have a trained, like an expert.
But let me even land. Right now, I have realized that even within adult friends, people really don't have friends. Like, people cannot, you'll be lucky to say I have 1 or 2 friends, because as adults, we are not even trusted. Why? Because the friend you are speaking to, you don't know who they are speaking to and all that. So even as adults, we are still struggling with it. So imagine what the kids
So they say your bestie is somebody else's bestie.
So imagine what we are going through. But my point is, I don't want this social thing to be tied to religion.
Oh,
I think she just mentioned
saying that
they should also get involved. They should also get involved.
And that's why I began by saying, if we look for people who are primitive, conservative, you will not get the results.
Those are the people that would.
And you can have, let's say, Pentecost knows they have to hire a professional.
Okay.
So
the person
who has a certified psychologist
the
or
person
something.
comes around. Oh, maybe today counseling session. If you want to, even the workplace can have that. So that if you didn't deal with it when you were a child, and you come to the workplace, you can have somebody to talk to, and you know that you can.
I think
there's this question. I
think there must be also more support groups.
Yeah.
We should have more support groups, that are easily accessible. That people can just even walk in, and there's support groups outside the country I know really works, where like individuals that have gone through different types of traumatic problems come together. They share their stories, so you don't feel left out, because once you go there and you unburden yourself, you are talking to people who can relate, and people who have been there, so it makes it.
Oh, you said Vietnam will come.
Hey, na menya boy na mon kan kire.
Okay, should I cut? I was wondering.
Any what cut here? Should I cut? There's a what cut. Okay, you to. Yes, yes, my chocho. Ya ba had I am chocho, but platform no so dey me watch Samuki. Yes, so I think that the support groups help. So maybe more of that as a nation or as a country or as an institution can also help.
I have a concern though, that people who are traumatized sometimes do not know they are.
Yeah.
So everybody walks around, we are all fine.
How do you even identify? I think you even answered that.
Yeah, you are traumatized, but you don't know. Only a few people would accept. So should it be compulsory in a certain way so that people will go and talk about what they are going through?
Lady Z, my concern right now is, why would people go through trauma and knowing that it's a painful situation for anybody to experience, but yet when they're in their position to help people, they rather inflict more pain. For instance, somebody will grow up with a toxic mother-in-law or even stepmother, and then life situation changes. She will now be a stepmother to somebody and maltreat the person. So I don't understand.
I always say,
why would you inflict more pain knowing that it was painful when somebody did it to you?
I always say people react to these things in different sides. Yeah. Some of them become very loving, and then others pick the toxic trait and then act like that.
Go with it.
That is why you need to
reach their own. I think that maybe those who treat them nicely probably got help. Because they say when you know better, you do better. So if it was done to you and it wasn't good to you, why do it to somebody else? But those that don't probably are still in pain.
Yeah.
And so because they are in pain, I went through it. Well, I survived. I'm here. So go through it as well. Do you understand? So maybe they never got help, or they probably do not even know that it's a problem, because that is the only thing they grew up seeing. And so they see that as love, but that's not love. You understand? So people are coming from backgrounds that, my dear, if you are not aware of, you will judge them, or you'll be quick to judge them. But trust me, most people don't even know that they are doing anything
so
wrong.
Right now, if an adult is watching right now who went through a childhood trauma and is watching now and it says, okay, I now remember I did this, that's why I'm being affected, how do they start right now? Let's say an adult who is watching us right now that has a past experience that is very traumatic.
I think that childhood trauma can be overcome.
Yeah.
You need to be well guided, you need to be well counseled, and you need a lot of love and support around you. So it depends on where you are getting it. But there's also that saying that knowing that you have a problem is the best and first step in getting a solution and help. So if it hasn't been, if you can't even identify it, or somebody hasn't identified it as a challenge or a problem for you to accept it, then it's going to be very difficult to get help. So I think that it starts from there, and I think that as friends, as aunties, as parents, guidance, we should maybe be looking at the people around us differently, so we can be able to identify if they are going through certain traumas. Because if we are not looking at them like that, we probably would also not see it, or we might ignore them, and it keeps building by the days.
I will say that, and my controversial self will say that I feel HR units per this conversation are failing at the workplaces.
Why do you say so?
Because we've all worked with people who we see in one way or the other are toxic. And we just enter the workplace and they are there and everybody says, oh wait, yes, I'm not here.
And then we have accepted it and we live with it.
Yeah, so. It's about the work and we are done and we leave the premises. But it's not supposed to be so. They are supposed to also be there to help us. So people are complaining that Tina has this attitude. Z says Tina has an attitude. You say Tina has an attitude, and the HR just takes it. Oh, she has an attitude. But
when everybody sees me, it's true.
So you need to find either engage the person, get her a counselor, and then now the person will realize, oh, I have a problem. If all my colleagues or the people I'm supervising are saying the same thing, then I need help. But we leave people just to be like that. So for me, I'll also pinpoint HR units as failing. I think it's something they need to add to their work.
Before we end on this particular topic, I want to find out you, can people still pursue, like, let's say in law, if you are being traumatized as a child without even enough evidence, can you still seek for justice by taking the case? Do you think? Yeah.
Rape and defilement, I know they come back strong, but getting the evidence is a problem. But they come back, they
don't want to put an innocent person behind bars, so you really have to prove that the person did it. And the longer it takes at times, the more difficult it is to get evidence.
Does it mean if I was abused as a child, right now, there's nothing I can do to bring justice or to have my justice?
It's very, very, very difficult. Because even with the defilement case we were dealing with, when we went to the hospital, we made a mistake. We didn't go to the government hospital. We went to a private hospital. And they didn't know they had to do the potting swab to get the semen. So when we came back, yes, there was the hymen broken and all that. But the police were like, the evidence was not strong enough that we should have used the potting swab. So if you are an adult and you want to pursue such a case, and the guy was vehemently denying he didn't do anything at all. So how do you link him
after so many years
the girl? That's a problem. And this case happened.
It's like her word against hers.
And now we are still on till November. I'm told they could even go till next year.
God, you don't call heaven.
So it's a problem. So when you grow, it becomes. You can say it for people to hear and sympathize with you.
Yeah,
but to get the person behind
to get the evidence to prove and.
Well, if you are watching us right now and you have been through a childhood traumatic situation, please.
Auntina, just to cut you, I'm sorry. Okay. But I think that even that trauma, I think as children, maybe we all went through it. We've all gone through it. You've experienced something with an auntie, an uncle, something. And even in school, bullying and all that. So yes. So I think that we've all experienced it in diverse ways, yes. But I think that probably ours wasn't that traumatic enough to, shape it. Or maybe we found a way to deal with it, so.
Who knows? Maybe that's why we're very vocal.
Exactly.
Maybe,
so,
because we overcame
I think that is something, and for the society in which we are brought up, my dear, they will brush it aside, and make it look like, oh, it's nothing. You are making a fuss about nothing. We don't live in the other world where a collabo waka crack na edidi ato so. You see, you we na how. Uma me no papa kwati ni enye sika ohudi. Back to you, my darling.
Yeah, so you are not in this alone. Trust me, people have been through situations that you are going through and still going through. So if you think you need help, feel free. See a psychologist, talk to people you trust, in quotes, because there are people you trust that may not be the right people you should be talking to. And if you are still 18 or something, just talk to your parents, make them your friends. We parents, we should also make time for our children. We need to ask questions when they are back from school, especially boarding schools, SHS, where they pick all sorts of characters. Please seek help. Don't do this alone. That's why people end up getting into suicide and all that. So don't do this, please. We'll be right back with another insightful discussion. Should a woman invest in her man? Don't go away. You are welcome back to the show. This is the opinion where opinionated ladies share their views on topics that affect your daily life, things that you are used to and things that you go through in life. The next topic is so interesting. I was even laughing behind because I think the girls are ready. Do you have some juice or tea? Because trust me, you can't get up when we start. Wine. The second topic, that is, would you, as a woman, invest in a man? But you know, investing in a man, I think it's different. I mean, depending on the interpretation or context. But I'll start with Z because I think she's Zita. Will you invest in a man?
I like the fact that you said that it's different because it can be different kind of resources. So I can invest my time, maybe my knowledge, my skill. But immediately I invest in you financially as a guy. You are not my man.
You will leave.
You are not my man. Do you get me? I can give you skill, energy, other resources, but money, once I invest in you with money, financially, cash.
But when a man invests in you with money, you like, right?
Yes, now.
So why won't you?
I don't have a reason. That's just me, my virtue, my value. Sorry, I don't have. I just feel like I think there's a reason why when a woman is very rich, even when you're very humble, the humility is not enough for society and for the man. Right, so I might support a male friend, a brother, a whatever. Once I financially back you, you just don't. It's my choice. You just don't.
Or you feel men because of their
I want
ego,
you to lead
when you support
on that
them
level
with money, they will still not be grateful and still look elsewhere.
I just don't want to feel like you need my financial support. I don't know if you get what I'm
Just the
saying.
financial part
Yes,
is your.
I will help. I might help push your business. I might give you a skill. I might spend my time, other resources. But I think the man I'll choose as my man, I want you to lead financially. Like, because a lot of our life enjoyments and stuff like that, health and everything is tied to financial. If I make my money, I still want to keep it. And I know people will say, well, I want to keep my money. So if you're a man and I invest with you in you because you're my brother, you're my friend, you are, sorry to say, a charity person, that's okay. But the man that I would choose to rule over me and be my someone I look up to, yes, you have to be financially more than me.
Lady Z, I think that talking about not, I mean, that's her perspective.
That's
but
me.
I want to know, as a working class lady, self-made, very rich lady, I want
emphasize
to
on the rich.
Very rich, very.
I receive it.
Will you? Because you are self-made, you have everything, the financial support, capacity to support a man. Will you invest in your man or a man?
In a man or my man?
Your man.
Hey. I have no idea.
You have it all.
Yeah, but I kind of like her take on the issue that she's going to bring to the table so many aspects of herself, her knowledge, support, and everything. And I also understand why she takes that stand in saying that the very minute she starts investing in you financially, she kind of feel like she's lost it with you. Because, you know, women try but a lot on, you know, men love support, respects their ego. Part of them also makes them not to bend on certain things. So as a woman, if you're up there and, like she said, no matter how submissive you are, sometimes it feels like you're rubbing it in, you know, with a man because of the ego aspect of men. We didn't make that. That's how God created them. You know, so in as much as he feels or thinks that is even genuine, sometimes he feels bruised in his egos because he feels that, oh, okay, if he asks, oh, yeah, no, do.
So you will not.
Will I support? Maybe. There's a limit to the kind of support I probably would give to somebody that I'm doing life with. So it varies, honestly.
Financially, you will.
I will if I'm able and I can.
You see,
And it's going to be worth my while. I will.
Sassy, Samaki. You know, I know
The
you're
feminist.
The feminist.
The feminist in the midst.
And I'm trying to soak it in.
Samaki.
I'm soaking it
I
in.
can't wait to hear from
You know how
The fe- in the
I want to ask
midst.
you this. You know how some men, because if the men are the ones providing financial support in a relationship, as Zainab says, as for her, Zita says she likes it when she gives you everything except for financial. And some men too, when they give you that financial support, do you know what they do to you? They take that as a control mechanism.
So they take your freedom from you.
Exactly.
That's why I say I'll keep my money.
They
And
control
spend
you.
yours.
So
me,
will you invest in your money?
I will not give a straight jacket answer. I think I'll go with Z. And I'm saying this because
Which
there are
of the
different-
Z's? The Z's are two.
No, I mean,
I know you meant me.
Lady A, she means me, please.
I take it from this point of view, okay? If I'm married and my husband is going through financial crisis at a point in time, I would support him financially. I will pay the bills, take care of the kids, everything, so that he will come up again.
Yeah.
No, pay
Yeah,
the bills or give money. Please, let's be specific here. You have a
I'm
child.
It's part of
financially.
So
That's-
like, it's not
Paying
investing.
the
When you
bills
finish,
is
when you
still
finish. No,
being
I understand
giving
paying
you
the
money.
bills. I mean, you can't say
Because
for
it's
your
what's
child
called-
not to be in school.
Exactly.
I get that bit.
Yeah.
But to
If
take money and put in their
She
hands.
says she will do
no,
it.
I will.
No, I'm just clarifying something.
Yeah, I
I
will.
wouldn't. I'll find
I will.
someone to loan you.
Oh yeah, I will. If my husband is going through financial crisis and I can, I will. If my boyfriend is going through financial crisis, I won't. Once bitten, twice shy.
Well, you've done it before.
I've
tell us.
done it before and
Sorry?
I didn't like how it ended.
Yeah.
So I will never support my boyfriend when he's going through financial crisis.
But can I ask a
And my
question?
boyfriend will be watching.
Yay!
He's saying something will not support
Should
me,
your
but I
boyfriend
wouldn't.
support you financially or invest in you financially?
Oh yes, he should. No, the ego bit comes in there. I think for me, I feel like men, yes, maybe almost seek a con. Interest.
It's true. When
So
they spend,
he should
that's when they
spend.
feel.
The more he spends, he wouldn't want somebody to take you away. So my boyfriend is a different issue. But my husband, yes. I mean, I want us to come back up. My point is, even for men and for women, I always say this: don't overstretch to help someone, because that is where somebody wants to shoot you, somebody wants to curse you, and all that, because they overstretch their boundaries to help.
But there's
you.
nothing like no measurement for being overstretched. I think people do certain things out of
No,
love.
I think
And
there
you
is.
see,
Without feeling
so
stretched.
let me come in here. If I'm very comfortable, and you need, you're my, how do I put it? Because I'll not help my boyfriend. But if you want to help your boyfriend, and you are okay, you want to help your boyfriend, maybe food, maybe financially, you think you can afford, let's say, 100 cedis a week for him. That's you. That's fine. But you can afford 100 cedis, but your boyfriend wants to go to school. And then you don't have, maybe you are just an SS leaver, but you are helping your boyfriend to go to uni and paying his school fees.
Okay, at this point, to be honest with you, I think you people are cherry picking. Let me say something.
Okay.
She said something.
That's why I said 50-50.
So let me come to it.
Because
So-
there's no straight jacket
look,
answer.
If I am with my husband and my husband is going through business
Crisis,
problems,
yeah.
right? That doesn't mean my son will not go to school. I won't pay the bills. That doesn't mean if the light goes off. So let's be specific.
So if your husband
What I'm trying to tell you is
Okay,
that
so
No, if
are we,
I will
are
not-
we now
Okay,
taking
please
the
let me
stand
land.
that
No, let me
Like,
land.
I'm about man.
Let me
marriage
land.
before we put
As a
certain
boyfriend,
commitments?
you
Yes,
think
should
also
no,
be
no, wait.
Because relationships and everything. We said a man.
Did
That's
you
what
say
I'm
man?
saying
that
it
you
is.
can't
Please.
know.
A man
But
can be
a
your
man-
boyfriend or husband.
but
A man can also be my brother.
But you need to be.
No, that's why I said my brother.
Yeah, let us
You
be
can't-
clear on
Now
what
let's
that we're
talk
talking
about
about.
let's talk about the
Our
specific
relationships.
with.
It
Somebody you
can't
have
be
a
straight jacket.
relationship with.
So
So
that-
either marriage or
is
be in a
different
relationship.
from relationship. So you cannot
Please let me
put
land.
the two together.
please
But
let me
I-
land.
I
Let
think
me
we should
land.
talk in that context,
Okay,
not brother,
in the- okay.
but the man in
Rela-
terms of relationship.
Okay,
So
because
relationship
please,
bits.
relationship.
and marriage. Exactly.
If you are my boyfriend, don't even think about it. Like we don't even we won't have this conversation. I just will not have that conversation. I don't care how wicked you think I am. If you are my boyfriend, you meet me eating, going to eat some, I'll not hold your hand. But don't talk about finances with me.
He needs financial support.
Okay, so
don't call me.
To purchase a form that would change his life forever.
His life. Did you just say his life? I'll not even borrow you money to buy me a phone for myself. Do you get me? The money to buy phone for me to join. No,
meet another girl, you come and be dying over
then you come and be cursing. Bread me no bread. Then they say that blame bread and me no bread.
That's the point. Like
so for me, I don't even want to hear boyfriend. I don't even want to hear.
That one is out.
So now let's come to marriage.
But you know, no,
let me tell you.
Boyfriend, that's how it starts.
She mentioned something
That's
about
how you
her
start
husband.
building.
There is nothing you will ever say.
Courtship.
But let me
it's not
give my money to my
definite.
boyfriend.
It's not definite that the person will marry you.
But even if you
married us, no. So why should I invest in you? Stay somewhere. Let
invest.
But don't invest. Be positive.
Invest.
And the person will think, okay, you have trust
money.
issues.
We don't joke with our money.
Of course. But even the men know that.
Okay.
That we don't joke with our money.
Let's come to the husband. Let's come to the husband. And this is my take. She said something that was crucial. If we are married and your business is having issues, my son or my child will not sit at home and not go to school.
Of course.
Food to eat will be there. You know what I'm trying to, the normal activity. It's not like I'm going to say, oh, from today onwards, I'm the one who paid it. No. I don't want to rub it in your face. But I never want to emasculate my husband. And I know, even if I know where he'll get the money, I'm a salesperson. I can go and talk to other people with my skills and stuff to directly come and support him. I don't want to find a solution for him. I might make it take kind of
you want the man to be the man.
I mean, can and find
you want him to be the man.
Look, a lot of business is not just your husband. At times it's like the bank can get you to understand that they'll get even you behind. So why do you even want to marry the
asset? As for me, I'll give the money.
I will not give the money. I might find other ways or other people who will bring in the money. Because the way I see my money, first of all, we all say that their money is my money.
But his money is our money.
His money is our money. But let me tell you when.
Interesting.
Let me tell you the exception. I have one exception. If anything was to happen to my husband, like he's bedridden, he doesn't have to blink. That's what my money is there for. That's what my hustling and coming out. You become either vegetable, cripple, you are indisposed to work. That one is not even about
okay, so when that happens, that one you support,
that is what,
you invest.
My money is an insurance for the family.
Okay.
It's not what you rely and I don't consider business whatever as insurance. Go to bank, go to friends and stuff. But for me, my money is the safety net for the family, be it health. If you need a surgery today, brain tumor, whatever, that's different. But to take that money and put into a business that can go up or down.
I'll still be on you. You said you put in your money.
Yes, I will.
You know, some guys are funny. I'm not trying to, but when I know I've heard stories that people sometimes help support their husbands with money, and then they will use it to go and do other stuff, and then the business will collapse again. They will come back to you. Maybe they have side chick or somebody somewhere enjoying the money that you think you are in your mind.
Okay,
I am helping his business.
I think we all come from diverse backgrounds, and it also informs the way we think about stuff. The way my family is, I pick that from that, and I think it's beautiful. I feel my mom is a support system for my dad financially. My dad is a support system for my mom financially. We run a nursery school in our house, and it's for both of them, and it's beautiful. So when I marry, it's the same thing that will go on.
I'm talking about where you give the money and they waste it and come back.
That one is a different.
You meet a husband like that. Because people have husbands like that.
I'm not stupid, excuse my language, to give you money and then you go and chase girls and come back and I'll give you again. No. As for that one, is I'm going to divorce you. But where I know that you need the money, and I know that you just need the money to push up your...
Because I see lots of
that make
you understand?
So people invest in their men and
there are women,
and
I must say it clear, there are women we hear of who build houses and rent the houses to their husbands and they live in the house.
That's wickedness.
I'm not that type of woman.
No, that's wickedness.
You understand? But there are others who do that. That is the extent to which others can go. They don't think that they and their husbands should live in their homes together.
That's what that one is.
They want them to pay for it. But I don't. I think I love you You are my husband. We are together. We have kids.
So
if you are in crisis, I will give you money. I won't go
what
elsewhere.
What will you do
and say,
if you get to know that the person living in your house for free is renting for someone else? I just want to know.
That's it. The woman.
The man, you the woman. If you are living rent, if your husband is living rent free for you, and you get to know that he's renting for someone else, how would you feel about it?
I'm getting a divorce.
But you see,
exactly. Because
so that means
I
am not a person
of course.
to come and make you feel like this house is not for me. Let's rent it.
No,
I won't do that.
No, even
it is not part of the way. It's not also your value. You mentioned your value. Mr. Anyame value. It's not my value.
Okay.
My value. So I'm very sincere. I'm very transparent.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
what you
believe
see
the
is what
hiding
you get.
part.
So if I find out that you are
Sassy.
cheating, then there are grounds for
Sassy.
divorce. But I will not, and you go out of my house, of course. It's my house.
We
So
don't
you have to
we don't marry
pack
and
house.
we don't marry and pray for divorce.
No,
but you
I marry and pray for divorce.
No, listen.
And
let me land. I have a question.
You don't.
I have a question. No, I have a question. I have a question. I have a question for you.
I'm not that I stay in and I'll die
No, I have a
in
question for you.
there.
See.
So if you mess up, you are out the door.
So
There's
in a situation
you.
where you invest in your husband with all the support, and then he comes back to you after so many years of marriage. Hey babe, I think I'm done. I'm not going to get married to you again. I want a divorce.
What did I? You see, when I comment, you don't take certain critical things I say. I say don't overstretch. So it means that if I'm investing in your business, I'm not going to kill my business to invest in yours.
So that means you can part with that money. You can part with that money.
Can't we sit at a place and spend thousands of Ghana cedis? So if I give my husband the thousands of Ghana cedis, what have I done? Nothing.
Oh no, it won't be
Then he wakes up one day, the business is now booming.
The money that men need for investment is not what you go and sit at the restaurant.
There are different levels of men.
You wake up one day,
there are different levels of men.
You now have like 100 branches.
Your husband needs school form for 200 Ghana cedis.
Thousands
to go to the investment. Sometimes when the person is something very small.
That's not an investment.
The opinion is opinion.
Let's be honest. You cannot tell me thousands, what, 5,000, 10,000. That one day we can even give you to
baby girl. Can't we buy? Let's say on a good day and your business
call that investment.
You are not answering my question. You are not answering my question.
Buy a Hermes bag.
It's not by Hermes bag. Listen, some of kids like you're not trying to listen to me. I'm saying
I will not buy a Hermes bag.
Exactly, you are different. So let me say my point.
Let's say he started a real
and I'm saying a husband can need just 1,000 cedis to support himself.
What if that 1,000 cedis?
I'm telling you,
it's a loan.
No, what if that 1,000 cedis now gets
a loan?
The women give loans to their husbands.
No, like that's a loan.
Now,
you are not interested in those things again. You invest in the business, and now he makes it and says, "I don't want to."
No, but why is my opinion causing you problems? I'm just saying that I will part ways with something that wouldn't hurt me. So if I give you 1,000 and you are able to get it into real estates, that's your problem, and I'm happy for you. And we are
you will live and living with 100 houses.
Why am I?
You'll be happy. You will not take him to court.
Why should I take? Did I loan? No, there's a difference. Did I loan him the money?
No,
or I just gave it to him.
But
if you dash somebody money, if you dash money to somebody, how can you go to court and say the person made money from it? So you are coming to sue him to take your share.
Look,
it doesn't work like that. But if it's a loan, it's a different thing. I will part ways with money that I don't care about. That wouldn't hurt me as a person. Wouldn't hurt my feelings. If you come back and you cheat, that is me.
That is not
even if it's 10,000, even if it's 1 million, that is me.
At
a point in time.
That's it.
On this topic, I think
Samaki feels like
I am part of the viewers.
You won't invest in someone. I say I'll invest in the person.
No,
okay, that's right.
You are wrong. No,
but I'm just surprised.
But I said I will surprise you. You see, everybody think I'll say
exactly.
Samaki said something.
Among us, I was thinking
two things.
Samaki
You are the host.
Let's be mindful.
Tina, you are the host. Don't talk.
Let's be mindful of this. Boyfriends are different from husbands.
My opinion, to be honest, I believe investing in a man is just like any other investment. So it can go well and bad, but you have to also set certain grounds. I will not invest for you to have an estate, even if then I will leave the marriage without it. No, we will fight and I'll get my share. That is my opinion. If I invest in that business for you to get to where you are,
so in the context
I am not even
in this context,
business, you could even still get a share.
So that's what you said. You not take anything. So
Tina,
we
are saying this in the context of you being married. That is when you can do that. But unlike her, who wouldn't invest in a boyfriend but in a husband, if it was you, are you sticking to the fact that you would only invest in a husband as
If
well?
you can cash out.
Because it's a man. So
Me, the
is it going
reason
to be
why
your
I don't want
husband
to do
as
the
they
investment is that
clarified?
I'll lose
or-
attraction.
But boyfriend, no.
That's
Even as a boyfriend.
I will lose attraction.
Yes, I
Yes.
wouldn't.
But
I
you
will.
also know that.
But also,
in all of
when I
this,
realized
and also
we
this
are
what I
saying that
realized.
because we're making this discussion look like, okay, it's only men who are ungrateful sometimes, and women who have it, give it to them, and
But-
then
but
they
we are
do
women.
that.
As for that
We
one,
are
they
women,
should
I
do it for
get
us.
it. So we're being, we're sticking to that issue. But I mean, we also have some women who do same anyway. And also, yeah, just by the by.
Okay,
and
so-
might be sunye.
okay.
But still, yeah, for you come, mama.
Okay,
So
so
the
let me
feminist-
say something.
Modi-
Let me
Modi
say
eba,
something. Let me
Ebeji.
say
We are running out
something.
of
Just one thing. I think that usually, this is my perception. I think that men do not really want you to know where their hustle is from. They don't want like it's good to hustle with them, but after you are done hustling with them, they want someone who doesn't know how they hustle.
They make the money.
That is what I think. So that's why they always go to someone who is a stranger who say, "Oh wow, I'm so proud of you.
You're
You did all this by
hardworking,
yourself."
yeah.
That is one. Secondly, she says something that is very beautiful, about her parents, and I saw my parents also do similar. But personally, as an individual, I don't think if I want to marry somebody for a long time, I think we need time apart. I want to be able to go to my work, you go to your work, and then we'll meet later.
Is there some marriage I have for a short time?
Oh no, like I mean that so that I don't get bored. No, so that I don't get bored. I don't know if we might have a joint business for a particular
Yeah,
reason.
you're always together,
But
and
I don't want to
get it.
always be
honest,
together.
I will not sit on national television and say, I will not help my man. When I know that
You will.
when I'm married and my husband needs help, I'll help him.
Oh, of
I might
course.
be that
Hey,
girl.
yeah, you have to help. Now,
Exactly. So that one must be clear.
Hey, now
It's
one
my
go
business.
ahead and
We
one.
can actually go on and on and on on this topic.
Let's
It's
go
like
on and on. Why are you ending it? Let's do 2 hours.
My darling, you don't have time.
The only feminists with us, amongst us, disappointed us
see,
today.
it's
Today,
very-
I was like, where did she
Are we
sleep yesterday?
surprised? We are not
I am really
surprised.
surprised because I know Samoki also loves money.
Yeah.
But for Samoki to say she will invest in a husband, that's
No,
interesting.
it should tell you that she's.
But will you?
I want to keep
human
loving
after
my
all.
The
husband.
lady
So
watching me
She's
right
human
now,
after all, and she's
will
a woman.
you invest in your man, whether boyfriend or husband?
Not your boyfriend.
We leave the other conversation. We leave that to you and your friends. Discuss it. We'll be right back. You are welcome back to the show. How is the discussion all going? Please, before you continue, let me give you some great news. On this show, we share our opinion and we give you the very best. We love you, want to see you happy. There's a secret, my secret, a place I buy my stuff, be it bed sheets, pillows. As you can see, I sleep very well, so I don't have any problem. And then, from there, I think you also use their candles, right? Zap, I'm talking about Zap beddings and more. Zap beddings and more. It's located at East Legon. But Zita was telling me about her experience when we both shared a candle. Madam bought us some candles and trust me, it's out of the world. Abby, share with us. What's your experience?
Look at me. So there's this
Try.
beautiful candle in a crystal-like, glass-like something, and it's white, and it smells so good. Look, I promise you, if you have depression, anxiety, exams, if you want to stay the mood, you know what?
Romantic wood.
You buy the candle, and if you don't enjoy it, call me. Let me refund your money. If you know my number, but it's beautiful, and even when you put it in smaller houses, like a single room, it still looks luxurious.
Yeah.
But when you now put it in a big house, hey.
It's scented too, so just imagine. Just imagine. People enter your house and be asking, do you want?
And it smells very good.
Yeah, so just
Like very, very
try
good.
and get some. sometimes you know how you
I
live
feel
your
like
homes.
Queen
all that.
Elizabeth
People come
right
in
now.
and then
Atmosphere a bit,
Please.
you know.
Yes,
Add some
so
spice.
to add my voice to it,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with scented candles.
Yeah.
And these are like natural, fragrances that is healthy for you, one.
Class.
And be it your kitchen, your dining area, your bedroom,
Your
Living
bathroom,
room.
bathrooms, anywhere,
Ah.
there are candles specifically made for you.
Wow.
So if you want to do, you cook the Kobe's and the Momonis, they are very strong.
Very
Yeah.
strong.
And
very
you just
strong.
get yourself a cinnamon or a pumpkin candle,
Hey,
for instance, or
Madam,
a lemon candle,
Lemon, I
and they
love-
take
I think I
away
like
the
the lemon.
smell
Yeah.
I'll come
immediately.
for the lemon.
So
You have to take me there.
candles have
Yeah.
different purposes and use, and also if you've had a stressful day and you want to
talk about
relax,
this.
go with a lavender or eucalyptus or the minty or peppermints, and trust me, by the time you come out of a washroom and lay on your bed, you're all relaxed because the scent would have just taken over your room, and you sleep peacefully. One trick with candles: don't blow it after you burn it. They almost always come with a lid.
so you just
If you let it and the smell takes over your space, don't blow it, because when you blow it, you don't smell it again. You actually smell the smoke of the candle. So you cover it with a lid.
So they
So-
I like the hack.
So we are talking
I like
about
the
hack.
Yeah, that's a hack.
So,
So
yeah.
Thank
they
you.
So
they
most
put
people
that with
blow off their
I
candles
do.
when
No,
they,
I never-
perceive
yeah.
I just do-
and smell.
Yeah, before I cover, I won't do that
The
again.
nice
I
smell.
won't do that
You
again.
want it to linger on throughout. Just cover it back, and the smell still stays.
How do you
in
know
the
that
You know
was
what?
the use of the
After,
lid?
Don't
after
blow
using
it.
the candles you gave me, I was like, let me go
Yeah.
and buy. And I've been trying to get a location. I'm so terrible with locations.
Okay.
So if you can
So
help
it's
me,
it's
so that I can
at
purchase some.
Adringano. It's on the main Adringano road. It's actually the only Shell filling station on that stretch. It's Baby Jet's filling station.
Oh.
But we're
Oh,
right
okay, then one-
opposite. They're
okay.
right opposite the Stanbic Bank.
Oh, then it's not.
So
yeah, I
it's
mean,
not
I
something
think the
that you will
directions,
miss. And if
I
you
won't
Google
miss
it, you'll find it on Google
Zap
as well.
Beddings
Zap
and
Beddings and more.
Okay.
If you're looking for comforts, you're looking
I
for
think the contact will be on the
class,
screen.
you're looking for luxury, they've got you. Pillows, we have memory pillows.
I think I
Memory
need that
pillows. You have pillows that's, you are worrying your
Sweet dreams, nice
you are
rest,
worrying
nice
your chiropractor. There's nothing wrong with you.
Madam.
You are worrying them. You are not sleeping on good pillows.
Your pastor
So
can
every
suffer
time your
bad
neck
dreams.
is paining you, and
So
I'm
but
a
a
coin
lion will
me
be
and I
chasing you
say,
in a dream.
Pacho, pillow now, that's why.
And yet,
So some pillow,
And
why?
yes.
And then I also tell people, what I say, maybe how do you find me pen?
Lion chasing you in a
But I'm always telling people we work so hard. We spend most of our times
Yeah.
working. You come home and you want to sleep in comfort and relax, but where it's like you say about investing in quality products to sleep. What ba fie na wo bedam pa aye din pillow bia wo bedam fa adwen. Now wetimi that kind of frame of mind to go back and work. So work hard, but come home and sleep in comfort.
Comfort.
It's
Yes,
your
I
space.
agree.
Make
I
it your
agree.
haven.
I
And
agree.
when the whole world is barking at you,
Just run.
Go
it.
home and be
the first thing
comfortable in
the
your
first thing I'll do
space.
tomorrow is to visit Zap Beddings and more.
they have
'Cause
so much.
I
They have
I
so
need
much.
to.
Apart from the
Even though I
candles,
have some of the products from there,
yeah,
but you got it from me.
diffusers
So.
and all.
But I
all
think
that.
I need
Very
to.
And,
nice.
I don't want to be
and
vain.
throw pillows, right?
Throw
Yeah.
pillows.
Agro kakra.
Throws.
Love is kakra.
I want more stuff at least.
Yeah,
But I can also
romantic
share
love.
with my
I
friends as
remember-
well.
But of course.
Yeah, I have
But of
wonderful
course.
friends that I would love them too.
And they're on
Have
IG.
them.
You can search for them on IG. They are
Zap
on all the
Beddings.
social media handles as well. So
Wow,
you
That's
can look
beautiful.
for Zap Beddings some more.
that's beautiful.
And you are assured of quality and affordability.
I know-
They pride themselves as the best.
Yes,
Obviously.
obviously, of course.
And then the hack of the day,
Yeah, yeah.
Don't blow
Blow
your
your candle.
candles.
Cover it with a lid. I know you enjoy today's conversation so much. The discussion was intense, and I know you are still discussing it back there. But please don't forget to visit Zap Beddings and more, because it's good for us. And I know you also have a very relaxing, especially if you've been through childhood trauma.
It
and
is
you
very
want to-
important.
You want to
sleep
overcome
well.
something.
Sleep
Well, insomnia and all that. Just
You need
visit
a
there.
relaxing.
My name is Tina Mulika, and I didn't do this alone. I did it with Zainab. Samoki, and Zita. Until we come your way same time next week, it's a bye from us. Enjoy.
Bye. We love you.